Wow, do I have a lot to share with you today. I haven't posted a video in quite some time, but I want to tell you why I haven't done that. Wes and I took a vacation and we went to Colorado. Well, while we were there, we decided to extend our vacation by more than an additional week. So we have been gone and we just got back a couple of days ago. But we had so much fun, and I can't wait to share some of the quilt shops that I visited with you and tell you a little bit about our trip. Hello everybody, this is Michelle Fox and welcome to The Simple Quilter. Today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about our Colorado adventure, including quilt shops that I visited that are worth your time if you're in that area. And also I want to show you the purchases that I made. Our first 2 weeks were spent in Fun Valley, Colorado. This is close to South Fork. We've been here before. We used to go there every year with our kids, but we hadn't been in about 10 years. We loved camping there. Jared and Wes loved to fly fish there. Amy and I like to hang out together there, and we would, tour the sites in the area, visit the sites in the area, and we really had a good time over the years, and Wes and I just wanted to revisit that. The first quilt shop I visited was called the Alamosa Quilt Company. She said she had been there for quite a few years, but I don't recall ever visiting this quilt shop. She must have opened after we had stopped going as our kids got older. The Alamosa Quilt Company is a great shop owned by Lynn, and here's a picture of the outside so you can recognize it. It's really close to the Walmart there, so we were getting supplies for camping there, and it was just across the street, so it was just really easily, it was really accessible, especially with our truck and our camper. So anyway, it was a great shop. It was fun to shop. Now, she had a great selection of fabrics. She had lots of notions. She had some new books. I thought she had a pretty nice sell section. They offer long arm services, but I really enjoyed the quilt shop, and I bought a few things while I was there. Some things that were new to me. They may not be new to you. You may have seen them before, but they were new to me, and I've enjoyed reading one of the books that I purchased there, and I want to show you what I purchased. This is what I purchased at the Alamosa Quilt Company, and I have to show you the bags because Wes thought this was so neat. These look like potato bags, and I just had to show you the package. So let me show you what I purchased from the Alamosa Quilt Company. I purchased this zigzag rope sewing project book. This is a great book. This is put out by Catherine Lyle. I ordered some of the rope from her thread company. I've made some projects like this in the past, but this really gives you a detailed description of what to use, the different types of rope that are out there, the different types of ropes that you can use, the size, the stitch size, and just great project ideas in this. This is a great book. Now these next two items are new to me. These are laser cut quilts, and I think they've been out for a while, but I've just never seen them, and I've never purchased one. And I purchased two because we love to camp. I thought this was a super cute one for our camper. And then this Gone Quilting. You can see this displayed in her quilt shop in the picture that I have where it shows her as the owner. But super cute, quick easy projects to do. And they kind of inspired me. I'm anxious to get those done. I also purchased a gift certificate to join the Mystery 5-0 quilt event. I'm still learning about this, so I can't really tell you a lot about it, but if you go to her site, I'll put a link in the description below that has her website in it, and you go to this, you can click here and it will say learn more about Mystery 50, and you can click on that. But lots of quilt shops across the US and maybe even in some other countries are doing this. And I did join this. I'm learning more about it. I think I should know a little bit more this week about this whole event, but I'm excited to do this. In the comments below, tell me if you're doing this. I think this has been going on maybe in past years. I'm not absolutely for sure. Maybe this is the first year. But again, if you're participating in this, be sure to tell me in the comments below. In the comments below, if you visited any of these shops, be sure to let me know. You may live in that area. These may be your go-to shops. So please be sure to tell me about that. And if you've ever been to Fun Valley, be sure to tell me about that in the comments below. The second quilt shop I visited is called kathysfabrictrunk. Now, years ago when we were first going to Fun Valley, Kathy had her shop. It was kind of in her house. It was like in this area in the front of her house. And I remember way back then, she had a great selection of flannels. And I shopped there several years in a row. And then she moved her store into town, into Del Norte, Colorado. And it's a really nice shop. It was fun to see Kathy again. I don't think I've been there in over 10 years. And I think we probably started going 20 years ago. But anyway, Kathy is just as pleasant as can be. Her shop is full of fabrics. You will love her sale section. She also has arts and crafts, and I think she must own or rent. I don't know if she owns or rents, but the building next to her is full of craft stuff. So she has yarn and beads and just all kinds of stuff for crafting. But it's a great shop to visit. Kathy's so friendly, and her assistant was there, and her name was Cherry, and they were just really pleasant. It was a great shop to visit. Now, an interesting thing about their shop is they rent out their long arm machine so that you can long arm your own, long arm quilt your own quilt. And I thought that was fun. If I lived in a place that offered that service, I would like to learn how to do some long arm quilting of my own. But I thought that was a really neat feature of her shop. Again, this shop is worth stopping and visiting at if you're in that area. There's not a lot of quilt shops in that part of Colorado. So, again, it's worth visiting. Now, these are the purchases I made at kathysfabrictrunk. She had a really nice sale selection, and I just bought some pieces just kind of to add to my scraps, my scrap bins, but I bought those. And then I bought two of the little Moda candies. I thought those were cute. Those were sitting up by the checkout, and I grabbed a couple of those. Okay, so in addition to going to those two quilt shops in the area, we also drove up to Lake City. Wes likes to visit the fly shops there, and we both enjoyed the bakery there. The bakery that we went to over 10 years ago was still there, and they have just great baked goods. So we had fun doing that. And the drive to Lake City is just extraordinary. The views are beautiful. It's fun to stop along the way and stop at the the pullouts and get out and look at the views. Oh, beautiful. We saw some deer while we were there. I don't know if we saw elk there. I think we just saw deer, but it's just a beautiful drive. We also went to Creede, Colorado, which is a super fun town. We always get fudge there. The fudge shop was still there, and they have extraordinary fudge. And the town is just a fun town to shop in. We went to Pagosa Springs, and the drive there is beautiful. We also went to Big Meadows Lake. There's a picture of that there. And then we spent quite a bit of time at Beaver Reservoir. Wes fished there a lot, and the river coming out of there, as well as the reservoir. And it was so amazing. We saw 3 bald eagles there. Oh, it was incredible. Such a beautiful place, and it was so incredible to see those bald eagles. Okay, so after we had been to Fun Valley, we were having some camper issues with our old camper, and we ended up getting a new camper. Yes, while we were on vacation, we got a new camper. And after we got the new camper, we decided to extend our vacation even longer. So that's why there is such a large span of time between my videos. So anyway, we decided to extend our vacation and go to Estes Park, Colorado. And it was another amazing place to visit. I had been to Estes Park when I was a young girl, but this trip was really fun for Wes and I. We spent time hiking and taking walks in Rocky Mountain National Park. As you can see, I did purchase a t-shirt. It was fun to shop around in Estes and in Grand Lake, and those are the 2 locations of the quilt shops that we visited there. But Rocky Mountain National Park, if you've never been there and you live close, go. It is, again, I just can't even tell you how beautiful it was. Wes and I like the outdoors. We usually don't do lots of hiking, but we did do some hiking, and we did do some walks. Okay, so the first quilt shop that I visited in this area was at Grand Lakes. And the cabin was called Cabin Quilts and Stitches, and it was in downtown Grand Lakes. Here's a picture of that. This was a neat little shop. It was, it also has like a gift section. It had a yarn section. It had a Christmas gift section. They had lots of patterns. They had lots of patterns of the collage quilts. I can't remember the name of the lady that does that, but they have lots of samples. And you can see here, the owner wasn't there, but the lady working there did call, and I did have permission to take pictures. But this was a quaint little town, pretty little town, and it was fun to walk up and down the boardwalks on both sides and shop in this area and go to this little quilt shop. This quilt shop is owned by Jeanette Lone, and she wasn't there that day, but it was nice to visit that shop. Again, she had lots of patterns and fabric and notions, and the Christmas gifts, and it was just a neat little gift shop. There were other things there that you could purchase as gifts. And I want to be sure to show you what I purchased at this quilt shop. These are the purchases I made from Cabin Quilts and Stitches in Grand Lake, Colorado. This is a mix and match sampler settings book by Scott Flanagan. I like his designs, and I like his color choices. So that has 12 block patterns in it. And then I just purchased a color wheel. I've been wanting to get one. Who knows, I may have one in my quilt room already, but this was large and easy to see, and I wanted to have one handy in my quilt room. So those are the purchases I made from Cabin Quilts and Stitches. The second quilt shop I visited in this area was in Estes Park, and it was called Peak to Peak Stitches. And I have to tell you, this quilt shop was amazing. And the reason I say it was amazing is because it was different than any quilt shop I had ever been to before. Catherine's goal is to help you create a memory from visiting that area. So her quilt patterns and the fabrics and all reflect nature and the environment of the mountains. She has her own fabric line there. She has, they've asked special permission to have the book Legends reprinted, and I will be showing you that because I bought one of those. But it was just incredible. It was just, the themes were mountain and nature. Now they had some other stuff too, but it was a fun shop to visit. I actually went there twice. I really enjoyed visiting with Catherine and her, one of her assistants' name was Annie, and she had made a lot of the displays in the quilt shop, and they were extraordinary. They were so much fun to see, and I'll be showing you a little bit more of that. Now, this quilt shop was a little difficult to find because it's within the U.S. Bank building, and you go in and you go to the second floor. Now, a neat thing about this is there's lots of paid parking that you have to pay for in Estes Park, and if you just take your license plate tag number up there, they'll validate your parking. And it's a good thing because I spent quite a bit of time in this shop. I really like this shop simply because it was different than any other quilt shop I've ever been in. They do have tons of quilt samples. You'll see those in some of the pictures that I'm going to show. Now again, this quilt shop is owned by Catherine, and here's her picture. They do teach classes. Here's some pictures of their classroom. Very nice classroom. And they have this huge window where you can look right out and see the side of one of the mountains. It's really pretty fantastic. And the samples in the store were just so inspiring. It made me want to buy so much stuff, which I did buy so much stuff. And again, they do teach classes there. One of her assistants also has her own business of machine quilting, and she had quilted a lot of the quilts in the store. They also have yarn in that shop. It's actually a quilt and yarn shop. Great space, well organized, super friendly staff. I just can't say enough good things about this shop. I really enjoyed going to this shop. Let me show you the first time I went there what I purchased. I purchased these fabrics. These were fabrics that were on sale. I love both of them, and I've got an idea of what I'm going to do with both of those. I purchased this Legends Book of the West. I just really like the patterns in this book, and I like how she's displayed them in her shop. And you can see some of these in the video description of her shop. So I purchased the Legends, and I purchased this panel of the Rocky Mountain National Park. Oh my gosh, we love that place. And then I purchased these foundation pieces. There's the hummingbird, the elk, the moose. And they have a bunch of these, so that, and there's the Indian paintbrush. But they have enough of these to make a quilt. And I didn't purchase them all, but you can go online and you can purchase them. I wanted to try a few first to see how I like doing that. I do like doing foundation paper piecing. This is foundation, not English paper piecing. This is foundation paper piecing, but I wanted to try a few before I bought all of them. And I may go back and I may purchase all of them. But those are just, oh, magnificent. We saw moose, we saw the Indian paintbrush, we saw the elk. Oh my gosh, there were hummingbirds everywhere. Then when I went back the second time, I purchased a bunch more. So let me show you what I purchased. Now this is fabric to make the bear quilt, and then I just love these two fabrics. I just love those two fabrics, so I bought those. I'm always needing white background, and this colorful, I just love that, so I bought those fabrics. I bought another laser cutout little quilt piece there. So there's different options you can do, but I really, really like that. So I purchased that. It's a laser cut applique kit. And then I bought this other panel. This is just the large elk, and I want to make a quilt out of that. Here is a little description of their quilt, but it says, "We are a quilt and yarn store that carries kits, fabrics, yarns, and notions with a focus on the Rocky Mountains. Let us help you stitch a mountain memory." Wonderful quilt shop. So unique. I love this quilt shop. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. It feels good to be back with you all again. Again, please tell me if you visited any of these shops, and if you go to Estes Park or Grand Lake, be sure you visit this one, the Peak. Okay, so tell me if you've been to any of these areas to visit. If you've been to Estes Park and Rocky Mountain National Park, tell me if you've been to South Fork or that area, or if you've stayed at Fun Valley or visited the quilt shops in that area. I love to hear from all of you. Again, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and until next time, have fun quilting.